Hey now, I got a quick little video I'm going to do on setting up the spectrum gradient on Thetis. I'm going to share my approach. It's more than just a pretty face. So let's get right to it. I'm going to do a walkthrough on how to make this happen, how to do this, and how I approach it. So let's take a look at it really quick. So this is the blues skin that I just made available. And if we look at the signals on the pan adapter, so what I'm going to do, this is probably an FT8 signal. So let me check this quick, make sure it is. Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do, let's bring this, let's do a zoom. Okay, so what I want you to notice right here, you'll see multiple colors. And if you look at the peak, see how it's, we've got blue, pink, yellow, and going into the red here, right? So it's way into the red up here. Look at the S meter. It's like 25, 30 over, okay? Now here's the method to the madness. This is how I approach setting up the spectrum gradient. I don't look at the S meter generally. I have the spectrum set up so the gradient, each one of these colors represents a range of S units, right? So the blue, of course, I have the green as the noise floor. The blue is, let's say, S5, S7, maybe. Pink, actually blue is probably like a 5.3 in there. Pink is a 5.9. Yellow is a 9 plus. So let's say 9 plus 5 plus 10 plus 15. And red at the top is 20 over. So when I look at that, let's scroll this way. Let's find a signal. Let's do a zoom out. Scroll the pan adapter. Let's find a sideband signal here. So one that is fairly consistent. I'll zoom back in a little bit. Okay, that's not consistent. Figures. I don't want to find, usually you move higher up on 20 meters and you get into some rag chews. So, okay. So this being said, see the signal right here? That's 20 over. See the red right here? I can look at that and I say, yeah, he's 20 over at least. Yellow would be, S9 plus. Pink is 5 and 9, basically. Blue is, that's pretty weak. That's like a 5.3. So now keep in mind, I'm going to change the attenuator here and we're going to see what happens to it. So let's change the attenuator. And that still looks pretty good. I put the attenuator on 0 dB. So this is in a non-200D and this is running Thetis 2811 21K8 patch. It's going to function exactly the same on the new Thetis. Okay, I tried it. It does work on the new Thetis, approaching it like this. Okay, so now you're like, why do you choose the colors you choose? Here's where the subjective part comes in. So I always look at whatever skin I am running, right? So if you look at the colors you have in the skin, well, it's primarily blue. We have some green up here on the buttons. I make my numbers blue to match the skin. We have red We have red buttons in the TX filter and the pure signal. So there's a variety of colors already in the skin. So what I do is I try to match the colors to whatever's going on in the skin. Now, obviously, I didn't have a pink, but if you look at this right here, this, you know, where you see a lot of pink in that 5.9 range. Well, you notice up here the VFOB, I have numbers if it's inactive. So if I hit the multi-RX, you'll see it go to blue, right? So I have associated colors placed all in the skin. This, you know, I'm a retired wedding photographer, and I spent a lot of time in digital imaging and stuff, and complementary colors. Yellow, well, there's really no yellow in the skin anywhere. So here's the point. I want colors that are easy to see, but that are complementary to the skin, right? You don't want to take like a red and an orange and put them together, because that's going to be difficult to see. So I need contrasting colors that I can pick up with my eye rapidly. So now, once you guys understand that, how I approach it, and it is not, as I said, just a pretty face. The spectrum gradient should have function to it, right? So yeah, he's pushing 20 over, and you saw the red coming up there. So I don't even need to look at the S meter. Yeah, there's 15 over. So it's yellow. So that's S9 plus, right? So let's get the setup open, and I'll show you how I go about doing this. So I'm going to go ahead. I hate to do this. Actually, I'm going to this is one thing I wanted to mention. I don't think if you were to go to a different version of Thetis and you import your database, your previous database from a previous version of Thetis, I don't believe it brings this in. Okay, I don't think so. I know it didn't on mine, and it could have been user error, but I just wanted to put that out there. If you update Thetis to a newer version, I don't know if this is going to come in with your old database. So you may have to do it again, but I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, okay? So I'm going to go back to default, right? So I hit the default. I can't believe I did this because this is a pain in the butt. So the first thing you want to do is you want to establish your noise floor. So let's see if I can I'll move this down here. Yeah, that'll work. So you'll see my noise floor without diversity noise canceling running. It's about -139. And you'll see there's really no gradient here. So now what you need to do is you need to establish your noise floor. So I always choose the blue. I leave this one alone at the bottom. So let's say I'll take this and I'll move this down. So noise floor is -139. So let's try and set this at like -130, right? Now I leave this green because I want the green, because it has there's green buttons and different green things on the GUI. Now you can change the color of the green, I don't know what you call it, the tone of the green, by clicking this little drop down. Oh, I'm going to have to drag it up. Click this little drop down, and you can go to a different green. See, that's a darker green. I don't really like that. But if you can't find a green that you really like, see, that's a little bit too bright or snappy, you can always go in and choose more colors. It'll open up a new window, and you can darken that up just a bit. Maybe I'll just darken it up just a hair, so it'll kind of match the buttons. You look over here to the 3.6 USB 20. That's kind of what I go for, right? Okay, so once that's done, click OK. It got a little bit darker. We'll just go with that. I'm not that picky at this point. All right, so now we've got our baseline color, and we set roughly where we think the noise floor should be, because you want the green, the noise floor, right? So now what we can do is we can take this next button and we can bring this down and see how the color's starting to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this color to a blue. Boom, there's our blue. So you can see that the green is too high. That's too high. So what we got to do now is we have to move this back up. Let's move it back up. Or down. No, I boboed that. Has to go down. Opposite, Steve. Opposite. There we go. Okay. You really don't want the blue to be bleeding into the green. You want a little bit of separation there. So let's bring this back to the right. And we can possibly bring the green. Nah, it's a little bit too far. See what I mean? This takes a little bit to set up. It does. So that's not too bad. So if you're watching this signal, that's an S9 plus 5. All right. So the blue, we need to get the blue down a little bit further. There we go. Okay, now we take the next point. Click on this, drag this down here. And what we need is a 5.9. So that's about an S9. That's not too bad. Now I'm going to change the color. Let's go to the color and let's go to, there we go. We got the pink. All right, so what do we got? That's about an S9, so that's not too bad. So we need to bring this, see how the blue is still a little bit dominant in the S9 signal. Let's bring this in so it's a little bit of an overlap. And there we go. So we get an S9 there. Now to add a point, all you need to do is left click anywhere in this bar. So I left click, let's change this to a yellow. I'm going to bring this down to represent an S9 plus. Okay, see how the gradient just changed? So, okay, that is a... Okay, that was a very... Okay. Signal's a little bit too sporadic. It's a challenge if you got like very sporadic signals on the band. Okay, so that's an S9. So the yellow is encroaching a little bit. Okay, what's this? What's this? This is... Boy, this is like playing whack-a-mole. This is why I don't like doing it on 20 meters. You're better off on 40, but I was just looking at 40 and it was a train wreck. I think we have a storm and 40 just went into a friggin' heap. Okay, let's just settle right here. I'm going to settle right here, whatever. Yeah, it's not bad. It's a good signal. Okay, so he's about an S9. So you can see just going in S9 plus 5. So that's not too bad right there. That's what you want. So if I could find a signal that's a little bit stronger. I'm watching. What's this guy right here? 10. That's pretty good right there. All right, that's good. That's good. Now what we need to do is we need to get a 20 over signal. It's probably not going to happen the way the signals are in this band. Let me flip the antenna. See, nope, it's all stateside. So that's all stateside. So again, left click in this bar, and I'm going to set this color to red. This is the 20 over. That's the 20 over guy right there. And what you want to do is you want to move this until you see that's a pretty good signal right here. that's a great signal. How strong is he? Looks like it's a little too tight. Nope. See how it's going into the red? See how that's going into the red. He's 20 over. That's good. That's good. So we'll wait for him to come back. Fleet comes back. Okay, there it is. 20 over. Into the red. Okay, so we're just going to do just a slight little tweak. We're going to take the yellow. Should I move the yellow? I'm going to leave it right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bump the red just a hair. Watch this. He's not coming back. He may have been just jumping in quick to work someone. I know you have to be patient, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, he is. He's just bumping 20 over, so that's pretty good. See the red showing up? See, I can look at that and I can say, okay, he's close to 20 over. So when it goes to 30 over, 40 over, I was listening to a guy 30 over before, and it's a big splotch of red in the top there. So that's basically how you do it. There's something else I wanted to show you guys. Okay, where is it? Go to Display, RX1. If you look right here, Spectrum Grid, you'll see a step, okay? I'm very picky. I know I'm anal retentive. I don't know why, personally, guys run their freaking spectrums. Why would you run your spectrum like this? I'm sorry, I don't understand that. So I'm going to show you how to get it really clean, right? So I don't know what the default is when you first install Thetis, what the step size is, but I set mine to 2. Sometimes I set it on 1. So let's go to 5 on the step size, okay? And I'll pop that back open. So you'll notice that the scale changed here, right? So if you left click in here and you go to drag the baseline up or down, you notice it has really radical jumps, right? So if you really want to get control of this, you can set it on 2 or 1. But the problem is the scale becomes unreadable, but I don't give a flying crap about that anyways. So you can pull this up or down, left click and hold. See that? It moves in one single increment steps. So you can really get, if you're into the looks and you're into the bling, I mean, you can dial that in and it looks like a freaking champ. I mean, it's crackerjack, right? So, a zoomer, zoom. So if we watch this guy, okay, he's 10 over, 5 to 10 over. See the pink? Okay, so that's about a 5, not even a 5.6, whatever's going on in there right now. And one thing I wanted to mention, these S meters on these SDRs, mine never, ever goes to 0, ever, like it does on a conventional radio, like an ICOM or something like that. So you really can't ignore that. But let's go here. Okay, so he is about, the yellow may be about 10 over. So what I should do now is I am going to move the pink. Actually, let's move the yellow a little bit to the right. Just a click. See what happens. Okay, so I'm watching this. This is, you can be as precise as you want. Yeah, it's 5 over. Let's see. What's he? God. About 5 over. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So that's going to give you a 9 plus all the way to 20 over. So this guy right here, he's been in there quite a bit. Check this. Yeah, so that's about a 5.7 in the blue. And the pink's starting to come in. So that is about a 10 over with no red showing. So that's good. So there you go, folks. Let's see. Let's check this guy. I mean, you don't have to get it so freaking exact. I mean, it's, you're not splitting hairs at this point. This is like a visual, but my point is that there is a purpose for a gradient spectrum, not just something pretty to look at. This is actually incredibly functional. So I figured I'd show you guys. Now, again, you can choose any color combination you want, but if you look at my spectrum, 90% of it is all associated colors with the skin. Everything. That's the way I like it. I don't like this weird stuff. If you like the greens, go with the greens and variants of the greens, right? Your choice. That's the beautiful thing about this. It's you can pick and choose, and you can develop your own look, but you can have it incredibly functional all at the same time. Thanks a lot, 7-3. We'll catch you later, and God bless.